heart-opening experience, I woke up. And at the edge of my bed, there was a being at the foot of my bed. And he
Describe.
His head was down at first, and he looked up at me. And his head was bigger on top.
Yes.
His eyes were bigger, but had pupils.
Yes.
They weren't fully black.
Yes.
The nose was small, and
Yes.
so was the mouth. It had like a slit, no lips. His skin appeared glowing green,
Oh.
and it seemed like
One
he was...
moment.
Okay.
We are all laughing. All right, go ahead.
What?
Somebody was using humor and playing a little bit of a trick on you.
Okay.
But go ahead.
And he was wearing kind of like a red cape thing behind him.
One moment.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, now
We know who this is. They like to play games and present themselves in certain ways to sort of startle you, wake you up. Kind of like what you call archetypally trickster energy.
But he seemed really compassionate as well.
Oh, yes. There is nothing negative about this. Just playing with you.
And
Giving you a presentation knowing that when you describe this being, people will laugh. They will think you're seeing things.
Well, that's why I don't say this to many.
Well, you've just said it to a lot.
I don't.
But that's all right because they know they're all crazy too.
So, can you tell me a little bit more about who this particular being was, other than the trickster kind of archetype?
It is a being, a hybrid being, using the trickster archetype to communicate to your world and set up certain foundations for future communication with the hybrid children. But it is in a sense, well, I'm going to put it this way. You understand in what you call Native American societies that the concept of what you call the clown is a little bit different than it is in your culture. The clown is a teacher, a trickster. What in certain native tongues is called a contrary, a heyoka. The clown, as a contrary, often does things that are very strange, dresses up very strangely, does things backwards, in reverse. It shakes people out of their normal, conventional view. And that's the idea that this being is doing. It is presenting itself as a type of contrary, a type of clown, to lighten the mood, to shake things up, to give you something unexpected. There are beings that do this, that specifically do this kind of contact in this way to shake the foundations of your expectations within your consciousness, to actually open doors within your consciousness to be capable of then receiving other things that, had the doors been closed, you would not have been able to perceive. But by giving you something so strange, so surreal, it actually allows you to open doors to receive other things you otherwise would not have been capable of perceiving. Yes, we know who that is. He's
coming to me with a clown suit on with a pig head on before.
Well, there you go, you see.
So I understand.
Yes.
So is this someone... What was funny is because I used to be very scared when I woke up and I would see something.
Yes.
And this time I wasn't.
Yes.
So I guess maybe he was coming to me in this way so I wouldn't be scared.
Coming to you in that way as a representation that you are no longer scared.
Okay.
It's a reflection of the fact that you've changed your story about your relationship to him and to other things.
And how can I further this relationship and this communication with this being?
One moment, we are laughing. Because we're getting the suggestion directly from him. Dress just like him. So that when you wake up in the same kind of cape, in the same kind of clown outfit, you can share a laugh as equals.
Okay.
You asked.
Well, that's very funny, and I like that a lot.
All right, up to you.
Great, and I have one more question.
Yes.
So it's kind of going off the questions that the woman was asking before. is the representation of our consciousness coming out as the stories that there are many alien movies coming out right now.
Yes.
So is it our growing consciousness that is allowing this to happen?
Yes. The things that happen in your culture are direct reflections of what you are exploring in your consciousness. And now that you have more and more willingness to recognize that you're not alone, that there are other extraterrestrial races, or at least willing to accept that there could be, you're beginning to explore within your consciousness all the ways that you can develop relationships on that level with other civilizations. So this is being reflected, and has been reflected in your consciousness and in your culture now for quite some time.
And these movies are kind of awakening just all of us.
They are reflections of the fact you are awakening.
Oh, okay.
They're not awakening you, but they're reinforcements of the awakening. If you hadn't already awakened to that point, you wouldn't be creating those movies. You understand?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Does that help you?
Yes, it does very much so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day. What is your story?
It's not so much about my story, but I want to ask about your story and the Essassani story a little bit more.
All right. What do you wish to know about our story?
First of all, how do you say good day in your ancient Essassani language?
Again, it is very similar to the idea. Do you have a word on your planet in one of your languages, the word aloha, yes?
Yes.
It means many things. So does ha'atu. Ha'atu means thank you. It means I love you. It means good day. It means many things. Ha'atu is simply the greeting.
I see.
You understand?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Anything else?
So your people, geez, where do I start? Okay, so
most stories start at the beginning.
If I were to be on your planet right now, you said it's very quiet, right?
Well, yes, in the sense that there are no conversations usually because we do not verbalize.
Sure. Would you be able to telepathically communicate with humans back and forth, or
who are on our world?
Yes.
If they acclimate to our frequency, yes.
Oh, I see.
If they don't, we would probably have to vocalize.
I see. Without a channel, there might be a language barrier. I would think. Huh?
Well, many of us have learned many of your languages. Understand that our language is a hybrid language. Our ancient language was actually constructed out of many of the languages on your planet and other civilizations. So you would actually recognize a lot of it.
Really?
And we can simply adapt to understand because many of us, out of our own excitement, have learned many of your languages.
Oh, that's fascinating. Thank you for taking interest.
Well, that is simply what we're excited to do.
And so you said that when your civilization was starting off, you were given a kind of a database of information from the Greys or the creators. What kind of things did that contain that gave you kind of a jump start to?
Well, a complete and basic understanding of the idea of our psychological makeup. So that we would understand the idea of what belief systems were all about, what emotions were all about, what our personalities were all about. We were still left to explore some ideas of this, but we understood from what you call the get-go that fear was a choice.
I see.
So we did not really experience what you would call the concept really of conflict on our world. Conflict simply being, if you wish, negotiation with teeth.
I see.
Negotiation based on fear.
And what is the Essassani or Sassani people's relationship to the other hybrid races? Do you communicate frequently?
We do. Not necessarily frequently with all of them in terms of your time. 4 of them are quite constant. One of them has chosen to be relatively isolated in its exploration of itself.
I see. The Shalanaya, who are supposedly the first to contact us, they are the ones who had the Phoenix Light ship. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to send an invitation to them to come back.
Invitations have already been sent. You need send no more.
Okay.
They will always answer the invitations in the timing that is appropriate.
And the other thing is a being known as Kaila, who I have asked about previously once. is of which hybrid race?
Partly Shalanaya, partly the third hybrid race.
Does that third hybrid race have a name?
That story is for another time.
May I just extend to that being a thank you for being willing to undergo the type of interaction that he did with the people of our planet, and we must seem a little bit primitive, and
you are masters. You understand the idea is that it takes a master to choose a reality of such great polarity. We understand what you mean by primitive, but that's just an expression. The idea is that once you realize your mastery, you will not see yourselves as primitives either.
I see. Just wanted to relay that message that it does not go unappreciated.
All right.
What has been done. So
that is understood and reciprocated, and gratitude is given.
Okay, that is all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. At this timing, the story must move to another chapter. Take a short break. We will resume this story transmission with the idea of the experience of your holocaust.